What's up, everybody? My name is Keishay, aka Shay, aka Shake and Bake, and welcome back to my channel. In today's video, I am going to be talking about The Quiet 2005, and I don't even know what to say about this movie. I have been recommending this movie to my friends for a very long time because it is bizarre. It's one of the most bizarre movies I've ever seen in my life, and I feel that it is just my duty to push this movie onto other people because it is weird. I don't know any other way to put it. I started writing a script for this movie, and I had noticed that I wasn't even 15 minutes into the movie and I already had like 4 pages of notes for a script. And I was like, oh nah. I was gonna do like a regular movie breakdown. I would be here all day. I would literally be here all day. So what I am gonna do is try my best to give those who maybe don't want to watch this movie, because I don't recommend it in a like, this is a good movie, you should absolutely watch. No, I recommend it in a every 5 minutes you're gonna be saying what, or what the fuck is going on. That's how I think about it. That's the best way I could put it, really. Before I jump into anything, I do want to issue a spoiler alert. We will be discussing major spoilers of The Quiet 2005. I also want to offer up a trigger warning if you have any triggers of any kind, because every single one of them will be alerted in this video. From watching this movie, don't watch the movie. Your mental health is better than watching a shitty movie. Yeah, let's jump into the review breakdown. I don't even know what to call it, but let's jump into the video. Here's a quick synopsis of The Quiet 2005. Following the unexpected death of her father, a deaf teenager moves in with her godparents, where she discovers the cruel behavior of their daughter may be indicative of a dark secret within the family. The Quiet 2005 is a terrible movie filled with terrible people. Everybody in this movie fucking sucks for one reason or another. Basically, the whole thing with this movie is that everybody is mean to the main character because she's deaf. Vague enough. Go watch the movie if you haven't and you don't want to be spoiled. I recommend going into movies like this blind. I recommend going into really any movie blind nowadays, because trailers give too much of the movie away, and I feel like going into a movie without knowing anything about it is one of the best ways to get like your objective opinion. Because if you go in not knowing anything, not knowing more than what the movie cover gives you, then you can go in kind of unbiased. You're not playing favoritism because your favorite actor is in it, or the story of how whatever. You're just kind of going in like, is this movie giving me all of the base information I need to one, follow the story and enjoy what I'm watching, right? Or get the proper emotions that the movie is supposed to be providing me. This movie does not do that. I'm just gonna be plain and honest. Okay, I don't want to hold it too long. I don't want to ramble too much yet. Without further ado, let's jump into this movie. The movie begins with narration from our main character Dot, who is played by Camila Bell. Some of you may know her from When a Stranger Calls, the remake. When a Stranger Calls, that is where you probably will know her from. But yeah, it starts with Dot, and she's explaining how she wants to be invisible. There's a lot of like her talking about how she wants to be invisible. And pet peeve, movies that start in narration. That is something that is very irritating. I don't like movies that start in narration. So I was already like, okay, here we are with this. She's talking about how she wants to feel invisible, and then all of a sudden she starts throwing fractions about how she feels like half of a person, and then she feels like 1/3 of a person, and then she like totally disappears. Okay, right, you already lost me. Fractions, you already lost me, not gonna lie. We cut to Dot sitting at a table by herself, and because this is a 2005 drama, we're led to believe that Dot is sitting by herself because she's a loser. She's like an outcast. She's a lone wolf, so she's sitting at the table by herself. But again, this is 2005, so the only reason that she's sitting at a table by herself is because she's deaf. That's literally the only reason why nobody wants to be around her, which is weird. This is 2005 logic. You're obviously a loser and a weirdo because you're deaf. So but across the lunchroom we see Nina sitting at a table with her friend. I don't know the name of this girl, but this girl is overly freaked the fuck out. She's just horny as fuck. She's talking about how she's trying to get like the star basketball player to fuck on her. And I'm just like, okay, right, girl power, but we're gonna soon learn that that's literally her only purpose in this movie, is to talk about how she wanna freak on Connor for some reason. So Nina and her freaky friend are sitting at the lunch table across, and they're obviously talking shit about Dot while they're eating their lunch of Sour Patch Kids and Diet Coke. I like like, what the fuck? Sour Patch Kids and Diet Coke is basically what you see them eat for lunch every day. And okay, this is just something that was bothering me. I'm about to be real nitpicky here, but in this scene, they're eating the Sour Patch Kids and they're obviously only like eating one. But Freaky Friend, hers like changes colors mid sentence, mid cut. Like she has a red one and then she has a green one in the next shot. I don't know. That just kind of piqued my interest. They're sitting at the lunch table talking about Dot and being rude and obviously being ableist and talking about how the freaks don't even want her and this and this and that. And Nina hates the fact that Dot had to move in with them. We learned that over some expository dialogue after lunch when she goes and grabs Dot out of the restroom because Dot likes to hide in the bathroom. Obviously, 2005 drama, we have to have a scene of the loser hiding in the bathroom. So I was surprised she wasn't eating lunch in the bathroom. You know, Mean Girls, anybody? We see Dot hiding in the bathroom and Nina comes and grabs her out of the bathroom so they can go home. And over some expository dialogue, we learn that Dot has been living with Nina and her parents for a week. And we also learned from Nina that Dot's dad recently passed away. And when Dot arrived at their home, all she had was a shoebox with her dad's ashes, which is extremely sad. This young girl who just lost her father had to pick up and move into a house full of people who are pretty fucking weird. We'll get to why they're weird later. Nina's an asshole to her. Dot can read lips, so a lot of the mean shit that Nina says, she knows what she's saying. She just can't hear her, but she can still read lips. When they make it to the house, we see, I guess it's like later on in the evening, you can't tell what time of day it is in this movie either. Like they're either at school in like a really dusky kitchen. You can kind of tell that almost all of the shit was shot in the same day. It kind of looks like it. This like weird dusky kitchen. You can't really tell what time of day it is. So I'm going to assume that it's later on in the day. Nina, her friend, and we meet Olivia, who is Nina's mom, are preparing dinner. And her mom is Edie Falco. Camilla Soprano, fucking Nurse Jackie, Edie Falco. Edie Falco, what are you doing in this movie? How did you get trapped in this movie? Who are you doing a favor for? Anyways, Olivia is trying to get Nina to accept Dot into the family. Obviously, Nina is not having it. She starts talking shit about Dot again, basically comparing her to a dog because she can't speak. So we're already starting with the ableism. Like it's really bad. And I for the life of me couldn't understand what Nina's beef with Dot was. I'm like, are you mad that she had to move in? I don't really know. Like the movie doesn't give you any context clues as to why Nina hates Dot so much. Like that's what I'm trying to say. Like you don't know why Nina hates Dot. You literally just don't know. You just hear her talking shit about Dot. That's it. So yeah, she compares her to a dog because she's deaf and she can't speak. And then she obviously drops the R slur.
Besides, you're letting the girl touch our food.
So first R slur of the movie. Woo, we're not even 10 minutes in. And it's like, girl, you literally have smoke for this girl and her dad just died. Like, pipe down, bitch. The fuck? So after that, we cut and we see a man named Paul, who we're gonna assume is Nina's dad and Olivia's husband, at the pharmacy picking up some medication for Olivia. For vague reasons, we learned that Olivia is a bit of a pill addict. She's an addict of sorts, maybe like pills and alcohol. But yeah, so he's picking up pills for her, and one of the teachers from the high school that Nina and Dot go to approaches him and starts up a conversation, and she's literally just used as a device to get some more expository dialogue. This conversation is a bit inconsequential, but we do learn that Dot's mom died from cancer when she was 7 years old, and she had been with her dad, who was also deaf, ever since then. And then her dad recently passed away. He comes home, he speaks to everybody, he greets Dot. Nia is still Nina. This girl's name is Nina. Side note, if I keep fucking this girl's name up, it's because I was halfway through the movie before I realized that her name is Nina. So in my notes right here, her name is Nia. So if I keep fucking that up, excuse me. Her name is Nina, not Nia, whatever the fuck. He greets Dot, very casually, and Nina is still being a hater, still talking shit for whatever the fuck reason. If I mention every time Nina makes a mean comment about Dot, that could be a whole separate video on its own. So just remember that anytime Dot is mentioned, Nina's hating somewhere in the background. Their interaction here is subtle, but I noticed that it's weird because it's like he's greeting her more like a girlfriend rather than a daughter. You know what I mean? It's not weird enough to raise alarms, but it is weird nonetheless. I'll insert a clip.
You're just a total freak. Can't you just be like her ungodparents?
You look nice today. I just said that you look nice today.
Well, I look like shit and I need to wash my hair. Mom's passed out in the living room.
He doesn't say much else. He doesn't, ask her how was her day or, is she doing good? He just always mentions that she looks nice, or he always comments on her looks. It's weird. Paul walks off. He walks through this ominous, foggy ass house. Whoever the DP was or the fucking set design people were going crazy with the smoke machines because, my God. Big empty ass house again is not finished or furnished because the mom is an interior designer and she's zooted half of the time. So they in this big empty ass house with this big ominous ass foreshadowing ass piano, and he goes and picks up Olivia off the floor because it's not funny, because she's in there passed out and she's rambling about something. I don't fucking know. It literally doesn't matter. Whatever the fuck she's talking about, it doesn't matter. Puts her in the bed and they get into like a slight argument, and because Olivia's like, you're being passive aggressive and you're making it seem like I'm a bad mom, which you are for numerous reasons. Addiction, is a disease. So I'm not necessarily talking about her addiction that makes her a bad mom. We'll find out why she's a fucking bad mom later on. The next day, they're at school and it's pig dissection day, bro. Do they even still have that in schools? Because I had that my freshman year of high school. So let me know if niggas is still dissecting pigs. They are in class dissecting pigs, and the teacher is assigning lab partners. And guess who is Dot's lab partner? Connor, exactly. Did you guess Connor? You remember that fucking name of the guy that the friend wants to fuck? You remember him? Yeah. She gets Connor, and Freaky Frog friend is not happy about it. Oh well, fuck that bitch. Anyway, we're back at lunch and they're still eating Sour Patch Kids and drinking their fucking Diet Cokes. And Freaky Frog friend goes on a rant about how Nina's a virgin. What is the reverse of slut shaming? She starts reverse slut shaming her because she's not having sex, and then she talks about how your mom is a babe and your dad is hot. We're now saying that Paul is hot. Okay. This brings me on to like my second rant about movies that want to be about high school, but they don't know how to write teenagers. It's still something that's very prevalent to this day. Everybody brings up Euphoria as a good example of like 30-40-year-olds trying to write teenagers, and it's not getting any better. But this is just an extreme example of that because this movie is bad. Even in like good movies, the dialogue from teenagers is like either they sound fucking 30 or they just sound cringy as fuck. And every line in this movie from every character is the most cringiest fucking dialogue I've ever heard in my life. And most of the conversations that they're having are inconsequential. They have nothing to do with the plot at all. Especially the fucking girl who keeps talking about fucking Connor. Like, girl, what the fuck? I hate really weird off-kilter dialogue like this because it pulls me out of the movie. It's like, oh yeah, I'm watching a movie about teenagers. I'm not watching if teenagers go about their day. It really pulls you out of the experience because literally nobody talks like that. But anyway, back to the movie. Dot is at school and she goes into the music room to play piano. Dot knows how to play piano and she's actually really good. But outside of the music room, Connor and his friends are walking by and he peeks in a little interested seeing Dot play the piano. So we have a little crush going on, He's starting to develop a little crush, which is cute, right? Right. His friends want to see what he's looking at, but he shoos them away quick as hell. He's like, nah, get the fuck out of here. And he tells them that it's nothing. Dot goes to the bathroom again, and she runs into Nina this time. And Nina, is like, no, come in, come on, She's talking to her. She's actually being quite nice, and she's like, yeah, let me put some lipstick on you, girl. You gonna look cute. Da 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 da. Dot look in the mirror, bitch. She done clown makeup the fuck out of this girl. And I'm starting to look at Dot now like, why the fuck you ain't slap her? You felt her putting all that motherfucking shit all around your face, bitch, and you didn't slap the shit out of her? Slap that bitch. The fuck? People gonna only do what you allow. Don't let no bitch play in your face like that. Dot was, and that's one thing. Dot was letting people play in her motherfucking face. You can read their lips. You know what the fuck they saying, girl. Start, I don't know. Let me calm down. Later that night, we get another weird interaction with Nina and Paul back at the house. And the more okay, I don't even know how many minutes in right now. No plot. We don't know where the fuck the story's going. It's just shit happening. This is another like, what the fuck? So again, like I mentioned before, he comes in and he comments on her appearance. He's like, oh, you look nice. You look beautiful today. I said you look beautiful. And it's like, okay, you don't have anything else to say to your 17-year-old daughter? Like, how was your day? Are you doing good in your classes? Like, it's always like, you're so beautiful. And it's weird. And then at the end of the interaction, he kisses her in the mouth. It make you do like, That's weird. That's suspicious. The first interaction was like, okay, it's nothing too. But this one, I'm like, oh no, this nigga's weird. Later on in the night, Dot is laying in her bed, and, and see, this is like, it's so weird. Okay, Dot is in her bed and she's reminiscing about her dad. We know this because narration again, more fucking narration. Dot gets out of bed and she grabs the box with her dad's ashes. Now, before I tell you what she does with these ashes, I want you to take a guess. I want you to pause the video, comment down below what the fuck you think Dot does with her dad's ashes. As she's reminiscing and we hear this narration, she dips her fingers in the box with her dad's ashes and she eats them. She literally dips her fingers in this box and starts eating her dad's ashes. Why? Beats me. But the crazier part about it is that she's recounting the story of how her dad died, and it's not funny. Long story short, her and her dad were like out and he had to run across the street to get some cash from the ATM or something, and he ran across the street. He had already looked both ways, but there was a truck coming. And obviously, because her dad is deaf, he didn't hear the truck horn beeping at him, and he got hit by a truck and died. He died on impact. It's not funny, but it is. And here's what I'll say about that. I feel as though they had to like put in the script that he had looked both ways already. But even still, that still doesn't make sense, because how do you look both ways and still get hit? If he looked both ways, he would know that the truck was coming. You can't miss a big ass truck coming. I'm sorry. Dot cleans herself off and she's walking through the hallway, and we, the audience, hear like a faint voice, and it's Nina's voice, and she's talking to somebody, and it sounds like Paul, and we hear kissing noises. Dot notices like a crack, like Nina's door is cracked, and she peeks through the little crack, and whatever the fuck she saw had her shook, had her so motherfucking shook that she ran back to her room and acted like she was asleep. We do hear Nina say daddy, so your brain starts working and you like, I know this nigga Paul ain't in his daughter's bedroom. This nigga Paul he's a molester. He's a molester, bro. And then we cut to the next day. Again, just shit happening. Stay with me. Now they eating dinner again. Them are the main two things they doing. They eating dinner or eating fucking lunch. Them is the main two things that that every character is doing in this movie. We rarely see them do anything else. Nina seems a little bit out of it. She seems a little off. Her mood is off. She says again that she's going to spend a night over Freaky Friend's house. Her dad objects and he's like, no, you're not going over there. It's a school night. And to convince him otherwise, they start playing footsies under the table. Oh my God. This freaky frog ass, pedo ass nigga, bro. Like, y'all, I done seen this movie like 4 or 5 times and I'm still scratching my head trying to understand what the fuck. Who wrote this? Who thought this was gonna be the one? This is the one that's gonna put me at the top. We got Edie Falco. We got 2 mid-tier, mid-2000s actresses as our leads. Like, bro, we finna eat. Like, this is gonna go crazy. Who thought of this shit, bro? I'm really trying to figure it out. Who thought of this, bro? She says that she's spending the night over a freaky friend's house because they're about to go to the movies. So she was going to go to the movies and then spend the night over her friend's house. And Paul is like, no, because he assumes that there are going to be boys there, or he knows that there are going to be boys there, and he doesn't want his daughter around boys because he's a fucking pedophile and he's been molesting his daughter. You can tell that he's a bit possessive, if you will, which is fucking gross. Anyway, they get into a little argument. It doesn't matter because Nina winds up going anyway. And then after that, Dot goes and like helps clean up with dinner, and she's talking to Olivia. Out of nowhere, in the midst of this conversation of them, like her trying to like bond with her, she calls Dot's mom a slut.
Your mother was a slut.
And then proceeds to say that Dot kind of looks like her mom. So from that, what do you gander? Is she saying that Dot looks like a slut too? What the fuck is this movie? We're not even 30 minutes into this movie and shit is just being thrown at us. There's literally just people talking about nothing. After Nina leaves, I don't know how long after Nina leaves, Dot decides that she wants to go to the movies as well. Olivia is sitting on the couch zooted per usual, and she's like, oh yeah, Dot, I'll take you to the movies. And Paul comes in the room and he's like, you're not driving her. There's no way you're driving her. So he decides that he's gonna drive her. And bro, look at Dot's face when she's in the car with Paul. Like, she knows that this nigga's a weirdo, bro. She looks fucking terrified. And she should be, honestly, because I would be fucking scared too. We see this empty ass movie. Everybody starts arriving shortly after. Dot gets there somehow before Nina and her friends, but okay. Nina and her friends see Dot and they automatically start talking shit. Dot's freaky friend is like, hey, yo, switch seats with me because I want to sit next to Connor because can you guess? Can you guess why she wants to sit next to Connor? Connor, like I said, he's kind of starting to be, his interest is a little piqued by Dot. So he offers to the group like, hey, do y'all want to invite her to come sit with us? They all swiftly decline like, hell no. In the midst of that conversation, one of them assumes that Dot has always been deaf. Nina sticks up for her and is like, no, Dot hasn't always been deaf. She lost her hearing when she was 7. So I think she lost her hearing around the same time that her mom died, which is a double whammy. It's like, damn, my mom just died and I'm losing my hearing. It's really bad. And as they watch the movie, Nina tries to like plug her ears to, simulate being deaf, but we all know that doesn't fucking work. We all see that she's trying. This shit don't work. And then out of nowhere, Freakazoid just drops a slur about intersex people. Where do she be coming from with this shit? She calls Dot a slur for intersex people, and then we move on from that shit like it never happened. And then we go back to Dot. Dot is in bed, and they got Dot in this little ass twin bed. That's probably why she can't fucking sleep. It may be also because there's a pedophile walking through the house. She hops out of bed and she is about to like leave out of her room, and then she sees that pedo man is coming down the stairs, and she hurries up and runs back in her bed and plays sleep. Paul, pedophile ass, comes in the room and sits on her bed, and he starts talking to her and like stroking her hair. He's talking about how he's sick. We know what the fuck that means, and how he thought that Dot coming to move with them would fix his sickness, but it didn't. He's only saying this because 1, he thinks Dot is asleep, and 2, he knows that Dot is deaf, so she won't be able to hear what he's saying. So he's kind of like confessing that he's a fucking weirdo with the security of knowing that she can't hear him, which is even more fucked up if you ask me. We go back to one of the main locations of this movie. Like I said, the lunchroom. We're back in the lunchroom, and this time the girls are eating Jell-O. They're not eating Sour Patch Kids and Diet Coke. And super freaky grandma ass over here calls this shit is not funny, bro. I did get a chuckle out of this one. Super freaky grandma ass calls Dot Def Jam Records. I'm not laughing. I promise I'm not laughing. But that shit is kind of funny. They not that bitch enough, but they did eat that little one thing because Def Jam Records is crazy as fuck. Dot gets home earlier than everybody else, and she is in the foggy living room. Again, smoke machine is going crazy, and she's playing the piano. Nina gets home from school and she's starting to develop a little bit of a soft spot for Dot too. And so she kind of just listens in on Dot playing, and she, seems like she's actually kind of enjoying the performance. And then this happens.
Shit.
Miss Jackson.
Again, I had no idea what the fuck this movie was about. So I went into this movie thinking that Dot was actually deaf. Turns out that bitch is not deaf. She's not deaf at all. She done heard every motherfucking thing everybody done had to say about her. This is crazy. But her dad being deaf, her dad was actually deaf though. She was not deaf. We learned later on that Dot pretended to be deaf to feel closer to her dad. Huh? I literally told you that everybody in this movie sucks. And I meant Dot too. Dot is fucking insane. What do you mean you're pretending to be deaf? Yes, Dot has been lying to everybody. She's not really deaf. Does this count as ableist? Like, is Dot acting like she's deaf ableist? People let me know. When I watched this movie for the first time, when I tell you when that girl said shit, my jaw hit the motherfucking floor. I felt like Nina, bitch. I was scared too. Like, can y'all believe we only 30 minutes in? For all of y'all, I already know the comments. There's probably somebody in the comments like, I knew Dot wasn't deaf the whole time and blah, blah, blah. That's you, nigga. It wasn't me. I was not assuming that this bitch would be faking her deafness. And Dot is crazy as fuck because I want to know what the hell was going through her mind when Olivia called her mom a slut. Like, you heard her say that shit. You heard everything that Nina was saying about you, bro. You heard all that shit. You ain't even speak up. You ain't even sign language some shit. Let me get back. Now that Nina knows that Doc can hear, it is up and it's stuck. Nina pissed because she like, bitch, right when I started to think you was cool, bitch, right when I started to think we was going to be cool, I found out you lying. I bet. So she goes back and slams the door to alert Dot that she's home because she knows Dot can hear that shit. So Dot stand up acting like she ain't even hear nothing, you know. And Nina like, what's up? What's up, shawty? Fuck. They have a little stare down. Next day, Nina walking in slow motion. She got some most Sour Patch Kids. She got another Diet Coke. And it's up. She go to the table with Dot. She like, you know what, Dot? I feel like I could tell you shit. You know, I feel like because you can't hear me, it's like I'm at a confessional. You know, I feel like I can speak my mind with you. She goes on this long ass monologue, and here are some of the highlights because I'm not repeating half the shit that she said. I'm gonna let Nina speak for herself.
I'm gonna kill my dad, Dad. Tonight. I hate him, but I love him. I hate it when he won't let me go out with my friends. But I love it when he fucks me. I hate it when he fucks me too, though. He likes it when I bite on his nipples, though. I stick the tip of his nipple between my teeth, and I rub my tongue back and forth on it, like a windshield wiper. Michelle's dad's got a gun. Michelle's gonna steal it from me this afternoon.
I could barely even pay attention to what the fuck Nina was saying because look at Dot's face. But why is it given like they gonna kiss or something? Like, it's weird. After that, we are back and Connor is lurking on Dot again, and he goes into the music room this time, and when Dot notices that he walks in, she immediately gets up and tries to rush out of the room, and he stops her and is like, no, I just wanted to know when we were gonna get together and work on the lab. And Dot pull it out her bag like, nigga, it's already finished. You don't work, you play basketball. There you go. Later on that night, they're having dinner again. And Connor shows up to the house. Nina is shocked, like, oh, Connor, like, what are you doing here? Freaky Frog's not here. And Connor's like, no, I'm here to see Dot. And Nina's like, oh, oh, you're here to see Dot? Why? What do y'all have? He like, nigga, we lab partners. Can I come in? The fuck? But Freaky Frog shows up with this comically large ass fucking paper bag that we're supposed to assume that the gun is in. Nina introduces Connor to the family and is like, oh no, he's not here for me. He's here for Dot. And after that, Dot just kind of gets up and storms out with Connor, and they go to a diner and she orders a milkshake. She sitting there drinking her milkshake, and the conversation between her and Connor is normal at first. And then out of nowhere, Connor just starts oversharing these overly freaked out ass thoughts. Like, I want to, yo, I don't know. He starts comparing her to a doll because she's so quiet.
You look naked. How quiet you are. Like a doll.
And the conversation turns into this weird fetishizy ass conversation. It's like, ew, like he just keep talking and he won't stop. What does this do for the plot? Dot sees an ambulance past the window and she like just books it the fuck up out of there, and she hurries up and checks Nina's book bag and sees that the bag doesn't actually have a gun in it. It has a bunch of porn, which is even weirder. If you were trying to be inconspicuous, you grab the biggest bag you could find in your house while you're trying to conceal porn DVDs. I'm confused. But everything is confusing in this fucking movie. After Dot checks the bag with the gun in it, she starts walking through the house again, and she can hear Nina and Paul talking. And they're laying in bed, basically cuddling like they're at a fucking hotel. Again, Paul, you are a weird ass nigga. Nina's calling herself fat, which as a fat person myself is very irritating, because then I have to remember like, oh, this is 2005. The conversation is weird. It's disgusting. It's hard to watch. And obviously Dot thought the same thing, because Dot takes it upon herself to break a statue in the hallway to scare Paul out of Nina's room, and it works, and he leaves, and he got the nerve to come out of the fucking room being like, Dot, you need to be more careful. And I don't know if it's like he's threatening her because he's like peeping that she knows what's going on, or is he saying that to like you need to be more careful because you break your shit, you know what I'm saying? Like, but who gives a fuck? He's a fucking weirdo. After that, Dot comes in the room to sleep with Nina, Like, sleep in the bed with her. Sleep, please. Oh my God, I gotta be careful with like how I speak, because she did not sleep with her. She slept in the bed. They slept in the bed together. And it was to, I guess it was to like protect her or to like comfort her, because after that interaction, Nina was crying. So Dot came in there to comfort her and let her know like, hey, you know, he's not coming back for the night. And that was that. Now we had a basketball game and Connor is ass. And after the game, Connor runs into Dot and he's like, hey, how you doing? And they go to the pool. Connor starts talking fucking crazy again. He like, bro, like literally, bro just start spilling his guts.
Really hard last night. I had to beat off. I 4 times.
And that ain't even the craziest part. The craziest part is that Dot is into it because they hook up. Why do they hook up? I don't fucking know. Dot is also a freaky fucking frog because, again, Dot can hear the shit that Connor is saying. So is she okay with this weird ass nigga just volunteering all of this weird ass information? Like that's cute to you? That's quirky? And my thing with Connor's rant is nobody asked you to say all of that. You didn't even ask Dot if it was okay for you to trauma dump. You just start talking. And then at the end of the movie, he finds out that Dot can hear, by the way. At the end of the movie. Spoiler alert. The fuck? He finds out that Dot can hear, and at the end, he's like, how dare you? You fucking lied to me. You heard me talking about my penis, and you didn't, like, no, you didn't have to. You didn't have to. You did that on your own. You did that of your own volition. You mad? And the movie kind of plays it as if it's like it's Dot's fault that this nigga told all his business. That's not her fucking fault, bro. You did that shit. We cut back to the house. Olivia is trying to get Paul to sleep with her, and we get some random boobs courtesy of Edie Falco, and I want to know how much she got paid to do that stupid ass shit for this movie. Anyways, after Dot hooks up with Connor's weird ass, she realizes that it's almost 12 o'clock, so that means it's time to kill Paul bitch ass, right? So she picks up her clothes and runs home again, and Connor's like, wait. The dad sneaks into Nina's room again. After Olivia fake falls asleep, he sneaks out of their bedroom and goes into Nina's room. Notice that I said fake sleep because Olivia knows about Paul. We don't know how long she's known about Paul and what he's been doing to Nina, but she knows. He goes into Nina's room again as she's like ironing her cheerleader outfit, and Nina's like trying to distract him because she doesn't want to sleep with her fucking dad. Simply put, she doesn't want to sleep with her dad, so she's trying to distract him. Like, she's like, oh, I have a surprise for you. Close your eyes. And he like, yeah, bitch, yeah, my eyes closed. What the fuck you want? And she like, bitch ass nigga, I ain't gonna lie, I'm pregnant, so you gonna have to go ahead and run me $1,000 so I can get that abortion. And he's like shocked. He's like shocked that she's saying she pregnant. And I'm sitting here like, nigga, you're shocked that the girl that you've been molesting might be pregnant? What the fuck did you think was gonna happen? You thought because you was her dad, like she wasn't gonna get pregnant? I'm confused. He's literally like, what? That's impossible. Be so fucking for real right now, my nigga. You being everything but real, nigga. So yeah, she told his ass, yeah, I'm gonna need that young $1,000 so I can go get an abortion. Just like a nigga, he hit her ass with that. So what you gonna do? She like, I'm not fucking stupid. I ain't keeping it. That's for sure what I'm not gonna do. And then all of a sudden he ain't horny no more. He like, yeah, you know, I bet you're tired. You know, it's a school night, so I'm gonna go to bed. Bitch, this nigga pissing me off so fucking bad. After that shit, Nina goes in Dot's room this time, and she goes in there. But before she like lays in Dot's little ass bed, she starts talking about how she killed her goldfish when she was younger because she was braver then. She was braver when she was kid. Whatever the fuck that means. The next day in the lunchroom, but we at the little lunch lady thing, you know, the little buffet thing where they serve you your lunch. Yeah. And Connor walks up to Dot because they just literally had sex the night before, and he walks up to Dot and he asks her to the dance, and Dot says, well, no, and he wants to know why, and she basically is like, she's not good for him or whatever the fuck, so just drop it. It's a no. And he like grabs her arm and he's like, you're going to go to the dance with me. First of all, let her go. Second of all, no, she said no. Nigga, you're weird. Not far away from this exchange is Freaky Frog, and she's not fucking with it. She like starts going off again on Dot, and Nina hurried up and shut that shit down this time and was like, girl, everybody know you a cunt. Like, chill the fuck out, ho. Everybody know you a bitch. You don't got nothing to prove, gang. Yeah, that's how that conversation went. Nina is getting ready for the dance, and she comes in Dot's room, and she like is showing her a dress, and she tells her like she's not actually pregnant. She's gonna use $1,000 that her dad gives her to run away. $1,000 is not a lot of money, but she like, it's enough to get me started. I'm probably just gonna become a stripper or something, make some money from some old creepy ass niggas. My dad being a creepy ass nigga to me, and I ain't getting paid for that shit. I might as well go get paid. She's like putting lipstick on Dot, and she actually puts it on her the right way this time. So I guess that's supposed to symbolize that they're actually bonding and they're getting along and stuff, and it's cute. As they're having this conversation, Paul is downstairs snooping in Nina's stuff, and in her bag he finds tampons. So in his mind, he's like, well, if you're pregnant, then why the fuck do you have tampons? We're getting to the climax of the movie here, so the smoke machine is going crazy. So I will say this, Nina's acting is actually really good here, and this scene is very hard to watch because Paul starts to get physical with Nina, and he's like slapping her, and he's calling her a bitch and calling her a liar. He's like, what happened to my little girl? What happened to my little girl? My little girl's not a liar, she's a whore. And then he like slams her on the bed, and he's like trying to her, and she's like crying and pleading like, no, I have to go to the dance, and it's actually really sad. It was really sad and hard to watch. And he's like talking bad to her, and he's like gaslighting her and making her feel like shit. And he's like, you scared me. I thought you were pregnant and you lied to me. And why would you do that to me? Why would you do this to me? And the mom is downstairs like watching TV in the kitchen, and she can hear all of this going on. Again, she knows that this stuff is going on, but she be zooted half of the fucking time. She's just standing in front of the TV crying. Dot playing the fucking piano for some reason, bitch. Dot is just downstairs playing the piano. As like everything gets more and more physical and it gets crazier, Dot runs upstairs and sees what's going on, and she takes the broken piano wire from that ominous ass piano in that empty ass living room. Yeah, I told y'all that was gonna come into play. And she takes the broken piano wire and wraps it around Paul's neck and fucking strangles him to death. And she actually speaks, and it's in this like terrible fucking slow-mo. Rest in piss, bitch. Anyway, Paul Hoaz is on the floor, and Nina gets up and is like, you killed my daddy. She's like having these conflicting emotions because she's happy that her dad is dead because he can't hurt her anymore. But it's also like, that's my dad, and my dad is now gone, and I'm sad. But girl, I ain't gonna lie. Fuck your daddy. He a weird ass nigga, and he don't need to be on the planet no more. You know, Dot was doing the Lord's work, you know, getting rid of pedophiles. Like, that's what we gotta do. We can't allow niggas like that to live. Hypothetically speaking, murder, the YouTube god's murder is wrong. I don't believe that people should murder or anything. Dot strangles the fuck out of that nigga, and he dies. And as they're having this like exchange where Nina is crying and yelling at Dot, Olivia walks in, and Olivia walks in, and she's like,
it's a miracle. You can hear.
Not right now, sis. Not right now. After that, Freaky Frog friend shows up at the house and is like, come on, let's go. So they take Nina's dress that she was wearing at the time of the murder, and they stuff it into a backpack, and they have plans of like going and burying it after the dance. So they go to the dance and act like nothing is wrong, and Dot finally talks, and she's like, Nina, we have to stick to the plan. We need to get rid of these clothes. So they go to the dance and act like nothing is wrong. Connor sees Dot at the dance, and he's like, can you dance with me? And they dance for a little bit, and he's still talking. Why? Don't know. And Dot just kind of like pulls away from him after she sees Nina grab the bag and run out of the gymnasium. Dot kind of follows after her. Connor runs after Dot and is in the hallway, and he's like, Dot. And Dot stops walking. And this is how Connor finds out that Dot can hear. And that nigga's so hurt. He like, Dot, turn around. This nigga's dumb. He's fucking stupid. And I'm supposed to feel bad for him because you done told somebody all your business. Oh, well. She's like, I can't deal with this. I gotta go. So fuck Connor. Connor's gone. He runs away because he's mad. Who gives a fuck? And they go and bury the clothes. Nina asks Dot why she did it, and Dot assumes that she means killing Paul. And Dot responds, because you wouldn't. And Nina, you know, is crying or whatever. She has like tears in her eyes. And Nina's like, no, I mean, why did you pretend to be deaf? And Dot is like, because her father is deaf, or her father was deaf, and she wanted to feel closer to her father after her mom died. She felt like if she pretended to be deaf, she would feel closer to her dad, and it would like make her invisible to everybody else, which like that just doesn't, I don't know. It doesn't make sense to me. You being deaf doesn't make people not be able to see you. Like I guess that's what the movie was trying to say, because she was sitting alone by herself, like trying to shoot this movie some bail. I don't know. They buried the clothes, and Nina is like, well, can you not pretend to be deaf anymore, because that means that I'm gonna be alone, and bitch, we in this together now. And they go back home, and they see that the police are already at the house, and the police are taking Olivia out in handcuffs, and Olivia just basically like comes up to Nina. She asks the police officer, like, can I speak to my daughter? Can I speak to my daughter? And they're like, yeah. She basically acts as though she's the one who killed Paul. You doing the honorable thing now, but you really could have saved your daughter from years of trauma at the hands of your nasty ass pedo ass husband. Okay, you could have, but you didn't. I mean, you taking the blame for the murder, which Nina didn't even commit, by the way. You're actually taking the fall for Dot. You're not even taking the fall for your daughter, I guess. After that, Dot and Nina play the piano together, and the movie ends. And that was The Quiet 2005. What are my final thoughts, if there are any? To shoot this movie a little bit of bail, I guess you could say that, you know, it was a movie about feeling seen, feeling heard, no pun intended. That's about it. That's all I could pull. That's all I could pull from it. I was like I was always trying to find something that was like a saving grace for this movie, and I really couldn't find anything. And then I was like, okay, so I don't really see any like YouTube videos about this movie. I really don't ever see anybody talking about this movie. There's one like movie recap. It's called Mystery Recapped, from like 3 years ago, where they actually like go in depth about the plot of this movie. But I wanted to see what other people's thoughts were on the movie, so I went to IMDb, because that looks like that's where the most notes are or like reviews are. I was shocked to see that people actually liked it. Like the reviews are so confusing. There are people who are actually saying the right stuff. There are some delusional motherfuckers in these reviews. This review says, this is a flawed gem of a movie. The ending is a big crack in this diamond. I suggest seeing it, but with foreknowledge. This is a quirky little film that stutters badly on occasion and leaves you wondering in disbelief if you could. What? Here's one. It gave the movie 1 star. It has 25 dislikes and 27 likes. The title of the review is Worst Movie Ever. This movie made me sick. The plot was horrible. The characters were terrible. And worst of all, the dialogue was horrible. Dot's thoughtful character is really just a cover for the actress's inability to act. Alicia Cuthbert plays an amazing bitch of a teenager, but her attitude towards her father's Lacaris behavior is sickening. Not you victim blaming. That's what that sounds like. It sounds like you victim blaming. So I can't believe an amazing actress like Edie Falco would lower herself to being in this movie. The dialogue between the characters is filled with lewdness and vulgarity, and it doesn't even register as thoughtful or intuitive. It's predictable and awkward. There's a scene where the cool guy falls in love with the weird girl, cliche in all caps, and describes in full detail an erection he had. The language used is juvenile, but the content isn't. I'm not sure who the writers of this awful story were trying to communicate with, because the subject matter is too mature for teens and the language is too adolescent for adults. This movie was horrible and not worthy of even a straight to DVD label. I wouldn't recommend it to anyone, in all caps. I sort of agree. With this one, the dialogue is terrible. All of the characters suck. It's hard to root for anybody. It's bad. But the reviews are all over the place. This is why you can't rely on reviews. You can't rely on any of that. You just have to go in and watch it for yourself. I don't think that the movie is good. I'm just being honest. I don't think that the movie is good. The cinematography is all over the place. You can't tell what time of day it is. You can tell that they didn't have a really good budget, which is fine. But these are some pretty notable actors, especially for this time period. I don't know who the dad is. The only person that I don't know is the dad. Everybody else is pretty recognizable, especially for the early 2000s. So I'm really confused as to where the translation was like lost. Maybe I can't really find much information about this movie. This movie has a 6 out of 10 on IMDb. It was written by 2 men and it was directed by a woman named Jamie Babbitt. I just wanted to, do some of the highlights. I wanted to highlight how insane this movie is. If you have an idea for a movie, write it. Write it and try to get that shit made, because somebody made this. Okay, somebody made this. So don't think that your shit is too bad to make or to write or to direct or to DP, because this is on somebody's IMDb page. This is on a couple of notable actors' IMDb page. Anyways, there's not much more that I could say about this movie. So I just want to say thank you guys for watching this video. Leave a comment down below if you've seen this movie. If you ever even fucking heard of this movie, leave a comment down below. Don't forget to like and subscribe. I'm trying to get to 100 subscribers by the end of the year, bro. Like at least 100. I would like to get to 100 subscribers by the end of the year. By the end of November, actually. Let's make that a little shorter. I got like 2 weeks. Shit. But I'm trying to get to 100 subscribers. I think I can do it. Thank you guys for watching this video. Thank you guys for your support on all of my other videos. If you are one of my friends or family members watching, I love ya, and I hope to see y'all in the next one. I said I was gonna do a movie breakdown, and you know, this is the closest thing I can get to that, but hopefully we'll be talking about something better next time. But yeah, thanks for watching, and I will see y'all in the next one. Bye bye.